Hello everyone, Alex Smith here, Rupert Honeywood from Business Growth Bureau. Thank you so much for joining us. This is a bit of an introductory video more than anything. What we're going to be talking about today is actually how to find the decision maker inside an organisation. People are going to be probably a bit stumped by this. We've actually done an entire video episode on this as well, but people are going to be a little bit stunned because sometimes they get hung up on things like it's the CEO, it's the director, it's the managing director, so on and so forth. But what we've actually found in our experience, sometimes it's the gatekeepers before that. So what we're going to be talking about is what is a decision maker and who that may be inside the organisation. So on that, Rupert, what is a decision maker inside an organisation?
Well, the decision maker is ultimately the person who actually has got the sign off on the budget. And the sign off on the budget could be a manager, it could be a director, or it could be the CXO, or it might be the head of finance, or whatever it may be. So that's going to vary an awful lot according to who you're trying to reach.
So essentially a decision maker is someone that they can either sign off on a project, there's someone that can sign off on a bit of work to be done, a design, a project, whatever your product or service is. A decision maker may not be the person actually that runs the actual company. That might be delegated down to people slightly below him or slightly different in terms of management style and things like that.
Yeah, quite.
Perfect. In terms of how do I find those decision makers? So do I go after, say, the CEO? And I know I don't, we've already said we haven't, but how do I identify who that decision maker actually is?
Right. This sometimes can be the biggest challenge. So for example, especially if it's larger companies are trying to target, then generally you may aim for the directors or the CXOs or the partners or the owners, but in reality it may well be maybe a case of including the managers and other senior members of the team, because they could be the advocates who actually sell your proposition from within.
Yeah.
And actually, ultimately, they may have final sign-off on giving you that money or getting you that sale.
So you're saying that although, say, the CEO has final sign-off, you may need to get an advocate that sells from within for you?
Yeah, that's right. That's quite correct. But it may or not even be the CEO who has final sign-off, because a lot of these times companies will work to a very tiered structure, and different levels of management have different levels of sign-off.
Now, obviously, this also massively depends on the size of the organisation. So if I'm going, say, after a small company, say less than 10 employees, which is the majority of the UK market, do I go after the CEO of, say, a smaller company, or what do I do in that example?
Yeah, if it's a smaller company, generally it probably would be the CEO or a head of finance or a director of some shape or form. So the way you approach those type of people tends to be quite different. You'll probably also get decisions much more quickly as well, because the buying process tends to be a lot faster. But obviously, by definition, obviously in the UK you've got about 4.4 million businesses which employ less than 10 people. In the US, and that represents about 96% of the market, in the US it's probably a similar percentage, obviously a much bigger number. So it is really about trying to get to those people, getting your message across clearly, and then just going for it.
Okay, so obviously this is, as I said at the start, this is just a bit of an introductory conversation today. The reason for it is obviously there's a link on the video somewhere. If you're on Instagram, swipe up now, or swipe up on the next slide, because what we have is an entire episode where we not only talk about who those decision makers are and what they look like, but actually how do I nurture them into the point where they're not only asking for more information, but they're actually asking me for a sales-based conversation. So as I said, if there's a link somewhere on the screen somewhere, or just below, or if you're on Instagram, swipe up now. Join us on our YouTube channel or on our website. We'll see you there. Thank you so much.